1066, 14,000 Norman knights appeared, and long story short, they killed the last Anglo Saxon king. Now, one way or another, those 14,000 people have ruled the rest of Britain for 950 years. Because they lived in Britain and were British, and the country didn't really exist at that time in the modern concept, it's evolved. There's a perception that the English did this and the English did that. But take Wales. When Wales was subdued, destroyed, forced to submit to English rule, what it was really submitting to was Norman rule. It was the Marcher Earls who had permission to do pretty much whatever they want. It was the Marcher Earls who enforced Norman law. It was Norman priests who were made abbots and bishops and ensured the church enforced the Norman perspective. Now, you look at any class of successful people in Britain during those 900 years, whether they be the church, the politicians, the landowners, it's always been that Norman minority. So why is it that whilst we talk about the Norman invasion, we don't whine about our country being stolen the way that we whine about every other country being stolen? Because Britain was colonised and exploited by the Normans. And after the Second World War, they didn't go off home and leave us to run our own country. There's still members of the cabinet. There's still certainly members of the opposition who are direct descendants of those Normans. Look at the greatest landowners in this country. They're not Anglo Saxons. But perhaps we should remember today as our lack of Independence Day. The most popularly celebrated holiday in the world is independence from England. But today's the day we lost our independence, the Normans, and they never really gave it up. Wonder why there's a disparity between the North and the South? Well, the harrowing of the North. The North was subdued with bloody force, which lasted several years, and they've never fully recovered. Ask many leading politicians of today what the roots of inequality in the world are, and in Britain, and they'll probably tell you the Tories, or the English, or the colonies, or the empire. But really, the roots are much deeper than